Hello, this is Rohit Pandey along with my colleagues Purni and Yogesh. I'll walk you through the key changes introduced with the transition to simple content access, also known as SCA, and how it impacts the reporting of host guest mapping to the Red Hat Hybrid Cloud Console using virt-who agent. Here's what we will cover in this video. We will briefly go through each item on the agenda step by step. In this video, we are using a VMware hypervisor for demonstration purposes. The virt-who is configured on one of the virtual machines under the hypervisor. A single virt-who configuration is sufficient to perform host guest mapping across your entire environment. So these are the prerequisites for configuring the virt-who service. So now we will proceed with the demonstration. First, register the VM with the portal. Use the following command: subscription manager register. After successful registration, the system will automatically fetch the default repositories based on the installed product and available subscriptions in your account. Then check if the virt-who package is installed or not using the command. So in this case, it is not installed. Now install the virt-who package by running once the virt-who package is installed, a directory named etc virt-who.d is automatically created. Inside this directory, we will create a file named virt-who.conf. In this virt-who.conf file, we will configure key fields that includes name, refers to the configuration name. In this case, we are using VMware. Type, this defines a hypervisor type. For VMware, we use ESX server. Enter the FQDN or the IP address of your EXXI host. Then enter the username and password. Provide credentials for the EXXI host. Make sure this account should have read-only administrative privileges. You can also use encrypted password for security. Then owner. If you don't know this field, you can run subscription manager identity command to fetch this. Then hypervisor ID. It should be hostname. Do not change the keyword hostname. Modifying this field may result in errors when starting or enabling the virt-who service. Additionally, you can use filter host option to specify which host you want to report to the Red Hat portal from your environment. For example, if your environment contains 10 hosts, but only 5 of them are running Railguest VMs, you can list 5 specific hosts using the filter host option. Only the specified host will be included in the report sent to the portal. For example, host1.example.com. You can mention all the hosts separated by a comma if you have. Similarly, we have exclude hosts option. This option allows you to exclude certain hosts from being reported. For instance, if 3 of your 10 hosts do not have any Railguest VMs, you can use the exclude host filter to list their host names. These hosts then will be omitted from the reporting. For example, you can mention host3.example.com. You can mention many hosts separated by the comma. It's important to note, use only one of these options, either filter host or exclude host. Using both simultaneously may result in unexpected errors. By using these filters, you can ensure that only the relevant hypervisors associated with the Rail VMs are reported to the portal. If you're using these host filters, ensure that Affinity rules are properly configured on the VMware side. This is important to ensure that Railguest VMs are only migrated to hypervisors that are reported to the Red Hat Hybrid Cloud Console. Without Affinity rules, VMs may be accidentally migrated to hypervisors that are not included in the report, causing them to appear in the console as standalone systems. These standalone systems will not consume VDC subscriptions, leading to incorrect mapping in the portal. Since I'm not using any of these filters, I'll comment these lines, save and exit. If you have both premium and standard VDC subscriptions in your account, for the hypervisors, you can set the sys purpose using the command subscription manager. this purpose, service level -set to premium. Yeah, we can see service level agreement is set to premium. Likewise, you can set to standard by running this command on the VMs which you want to map with the standard subscriptions. We can verify if the SLA is correctly set by running this command with a -show option. It will show if the service level is set to premium or standard. It's important to carefully select the hypervisors where these VMs are hosted, since service level agreements are applied to the VM level and cannot be directly assigned to the hypervisors. For example, if a VM is configured with a standard SLA and is migrated to a hypervisor where all the other VMs are using premium SLA, this can lead to inconsistencies in subscription mapping and result in incorrect reporting in the portal. This will help us track hypervisors with respect to subscription usage at more precise, detailed, and granular level on Subscription Watch. We will now start and enable the virt-who service by using the systemctl start virt-who service systemctl enable virt-who service. Once the virt-who service has started successfully, you can verify that the reporting is working as expected by checking the rhsm.log file. In this example, this log confirms that 2 hypervisor hosts and 4 virtual machines have been reported successfully to the Red Hat portal. Now, open a browser and go to Red Hat Hybrid Cloud Console, hit to Inventories, and then RHEL Inventory. In this inventory, hypervisors are reported immediately once the virt-who service is started. Here, I can see hypervisor and guest VMs are created with the latest check-in dates. If the hypervisor has been configured correctly, you should see a profile for the hypervisors listed here. Just like real system profiles, hypervisor profiles takes up to 24 hours to appear in the subscription usage dashboard. In order for a hypervisor profile to appear in the subscription watch, make sure the following conditions are met. At least one Rail guest VM must be online. The Rail guest VM must be registered with the Red Hat customer portal. The VMs must have a recent check-in time. VMs that have not checked in within the last 24 hours will not be reported by Subscription Watch. Host to guest mapping should be uploaded by virt-who agent. Also ensure that the system's UID and the UID collected by virt-who are matched. For example, these both UIDs should match. If all the conditions are satisfied, after 24 hours of running virt-who service with a properly configured setup, you can verify that the hypervisors and the guest virtual machines are being reported successfully in the Red Hat Hybrid Cloud Console. Log into the Red Hat Hybrid Cloud Console. From the main menu, go to Subscriptions and Spend. Click on Subscriptions Usage for Rail. Here, the subscription usage dashboard shows how your systems are consuming Red Hat subscriptions. Click on the filter as Type and select Hypervisor here. You will see a list of hypervisors reported by virt-who. You should see each entry displays the hypervisor name, the number of Rail guest VMs associated with it, and the sockets of the hypervisor. You can expand a hypervisor entry to view its associated guest VMs. Each guest VM listed here must be registered. The current subscriptions view will display only hypervisor-based subscriptions. The subscription threshold will be calculated based on the number of VDC subscriptions available in your Red Hat account. To verify usage in relation to the SLA, select SLA as a type, then apply the premium filter. This will display all the hypervisors associated with the premium subscriptions. Similarly, you can see the standard filter to view those linked to the standard subscriptions. Also, a new workspace feature that will be available soon on the Hybrid Cloud Console. When this feature will be available, users will be able to create workspaces and allocate specific subscriptions to each workspace. Systems registered under a given workspace will only consume the subscriptions assigned to it. For example, you can create dedicated workspace for VDC, standard and premium subscriptions, enabling clear tracking and reporting of usage across different subscriptions separately. So this demo confirms that the host to guest mapping is functioning correctly and your environment is properly integrated with Red Hat subscription management. With proper configuration, your hypervisors and RHEL guest VM will stay in sync with the Red Hat subscription management visible in one central place. So this concludes the demonstration. If you have any further queries or need further assistance, please open a support case with Red Hat. Thank you for watching.